This situation was familiar to Woosung. Kwon Hyunjian tried to stop Nam Kyung-sang again. "Manager Nam, stop right now," he exclaimed, causing Nam Kyung-sang to quiet down, but then he made eye contact with Woosung and Nam Kyung-sang couldn't help himself but continue. "Lastly, that recent problem was something I could have fixed. What you need to focus on are your own problems." Woosung remembered Nam Kyung-sang from the past. He has such a big ego. He really believed his codes were the best. No one could challenge him. Well, he had good skills, so nobody could stand up to him. But things are different now. The impatient Yoon Gi-won stood up. Park Jun-woo kept repeating miserable sighs. Kwon Hyunjian grabbed Nam Kyung-sang's arm and pulled. "Manager Nam." He then bowed to Yoon Gi-won. "General Manager, I am so sorry. Nam Kyung-sang isn't usually like this. I will make sure he doesn't behave like this again." He then dragged Nam Kyung-sang out of the room. Crack. Yoon Gi-won kicked the chair and left to take a smoke break. Park Jun-woo asked Kim Yong-gun and Woosung, "Let's go for coffee." Woosung followed them quietly. 10 years ago, because of Nuri Finance's new system, Woosung had to deal with Nam Kyung-sang often. Even after the new system stabled, they still had to maintain a stable meeting among one another. Park Jun-woo explained the history of Deezen's slip-ups to Woosung. Server crash because of an infinite loop request. Wrong parameter request causing a delay in server development. Failure in updating the screen enhancements provoking the need for a new server. The server team was inconvenienced multiple times in the past because of the mistakes from HTS team. It was no wonder Nam Kyung-sang fretted about it. Woosung didn't react and listened to Park Jun-woo. "So Woosung, don't feel bad. We did make a lot of mistakes. A nice guy." 10 years ago, Park Jun-woo said the same thing. He was such a nice guy. Kim Yong-gun felt different, however. "Even so, there is no need to be that rude. We all work hard. But if they have to work late because of our mistakes, then it's understandable that they get frustrated." "I know, but Assistant Manager Kim, don't you remember complaining when we had to work late because of the server or infra errors?" Kim Yong-gun reddened in embarrassment. "Well, you don't have to bring that up. I'm just saying it's all good. When a person feels inconvenienced, we all become defensive. Some may react more strongly than others." Kim Yong-gun drank his coffee in silence. Park Jun-woo looked out the window. Woosung had a different feeling. "To me, it looks like ST wants to take everything." Park Jun-woo spilled his coffee in surprise. What? I told you before. The new point system will decide which outsource company will get its contract renewed with Nuri Finances. That means one or more companies could lose their work next year. Kim Yong-gun swallowed hard. "So? I don't think ST has protested this much before, right?" Park Jun-woo thought carefully. Thinking about it now, this was the first time they made such a big fuss. In the past, Nam Kyung-sang fixed the problems himself to show how good he was. "So ST wants to take our contract and work on HTS maintenance too?" Woosung shook his head. "Who is Nuri Finance's main partner?" Kim Yong-gun answered. "That would be Daeyoung System. Our company and ST are secondary outsource companies. We are only small fish." "Wow. Only small fish. If ST gains the most points in this new system, what do you think would happen?" Park Jun-woo put down his coffee and answered. "ST can stand equal with the main partners." Woosung nodded. Kim Yong-gun swallowed again. "Yes, that's it. They are thinking big." Park Jun-woo looked at him in shock. Nuri Finance's primary partnering company was Daeyoung System, which was a major corporation. ST and Daesan System were the secondary companies with outsourcing contracts. 10 years ago, Daysan system lost its contract in a year and Woosung left to work at St. As an employee of ST, Woosung ended up working for Nuri Finances still. If I apply what I know of the future, Daysan will become the primary partner. However, one thing still worried Woosung. Will he be able to make extra money like the last time using his knowledge of the future, or perhaps gain something else other than money? He was still working at Daysan because he needed the salary. He didn't know the winning lotto numbers and there were no other ways to earn a stable salary. He even knew who would be the next president, but it was useless information. Yoon Gi-won suddenly called for Woosung. Hey newbie, you need to explain what you said to Manager Park. Woosung focused on Yoon Gi-won and answered. Isn't it obvious? The new point system will filter out weak companies. Only the best will remain and take everything. So you're saying that ST is trying to steal our project? Woosung gave an immediate reply. Yes. You've already asked me that 3 times. But if we complete our new project and apply it to the system successfully ASAP, what do you think will happen? Even then, the best we can hope for is to keep our current contract. It still won't be enough to take over ST's account system. We are not big enough to steal that contract. Unlike us, ST is bigger and has more experiences. Yoon Gi-won shouted in anger. That's not what I want to hear. What would you like me to say? By the way, is there a good reason for stealing the account system contract? Obviously we need to get as many project deals as possible for our company to become successful. What a stupid question. And you're sure it's not for your personal gain? Woosung continued before the other could retort. Daysan has never worked for a financial company before. The only reason we got to work for Nuri Finances is your history with Daeyong system. This job is too big for our department, and that is why Manager Park and Assistant Manager Kim are overworked. Park Jun-woo turned himself towards their direction after hearing what Woosung said. Yoon Gi-won's flushed. Everyone knew this, but nobody confronted him like this before. Yoon Gi-won used to work at Daeyong system. When he accepted the job offer at Daysan, Daeyong outsourced this new project to Daysan. It was a good deal for Daysan to hire Yoon Gi-won, as they gained a contract from a big financial company. They also gained a talented programmer. The problem was the existing staffs. Yoon Gi-won was familiar with this line of work, but the rest were all new to this field. They had to work overtime to keep up. Yoon Gi-won remained silent and glared Woosung. Park Jun-woo tried to neutralize the situation. General Manager. He also looked at Woosung. Woosung. Let's calm down. Woosung was thinking fast. Yoon Gi-won replied. So what are you trying to say? Manager Park asked for more workers a lot but you ignored him. It was because of money. They gave you a set budget for this team and you could keep whatever was left over. That is why you wouldn't hire more people. Woosung learned this from Park Jun-woo and Kim Yong-gun 10 years ago while drinking. Park Jun-woo looked surprised but pleased. He offered a subtle nod. Yoon Gi-won directed an accusing glare towards Park Jun-woo. Yoon Gi-won now believed Park Jun-woo spilled the beans. There is no need to blame Manager Park. Everyone knows about it already. Yoon Gi-won slapped the table and stood up. You newbie. Sit down and relax. I agree with you, we can't lose our contract. My patience is running out. Well, you must learn to be more patient from now on. Woosung always had the last words. Yoon Gi-won was getting a migraine from it. He frowned. Woosung added quickly. I know what you want to hear. Don't worry. I will complete my new idea and apply it successfully. We won't lose the contract. I can do it. Woosung's words changed the mood. Everyone, even Yoon Gi-won, relaxed. But you have to promise to change how we work here. You need to treat all of us equally and kindly. Stop ordering us around. You also need to teach us more about what you know in the financial field. Yoon Gwon answered embarrassedly. Of course I will. We are a team. Kim Yong-gun swallowed. Yoon Gwon said it like he meant what he said. We need to avoid late-night work as much as possible. You need to make sure nobody is overworked. Of course. I have been planning to do all that. Woosung knew he meant it. 10 years ago, Yoon Gwon tried to apply agile method to decrease the amount of work for this project. And one last thing. Please teach me about algorithm trading. Algorithm trading, an automated trading performed by computers programmed to take certain actions in response to varying market data. After the financial crisis in 2008, it became the most popular trading method even in South Korea. Yoon Gwon stuttered. What? I know that when you were working at Daeyoung System, you specialized in algorithm trading. I also know you had to leave that company because they associated you with an unethical incident. Yoon Gwon's eyes widened in shock. How do you know? Park Junwoo and Kim Yong-gun looked surprised as well. They didn't know about Yoon Gwon's past. 10 years ago, you got drunk and told me all about it the entire night. I'm probably the only one who knew about it in this company. Woosung needed to learn about algorithm trading. It could help him make money fast. I don't care what happened. I need to know about algorithm trading and how it works. If you can do this for me, I promise I will make sure Daesan comes out a winner from this point system. Yoon Gwon swallowed. This newbie, who had unbelievable skills and knew about his past, was a frightening enigma. After a meeting, Yoon Gwon wanted to talk to Woosung in private. Are you aiming to become a quant? Quant. If you buy at A and sell at C, you could profit 2 cents. If you buy at D and sell at E, then you could profit 2.5 cents. But if you sell A at C, you have a 20% chance of losing 7 cents. If you sell D at E, then you have a 25% chance of losing 10 cents. With the above premises, which scenario would give you the best chance of profiting the most in a month? A quant was a person who composed complex mathematical models to detect investment opportunities. Companies scouted talented quants. As a skilled quant, you could become successful in both finance and in reputation. You had to be smart, and Yoon Gwon knew Woosung could be an incredible quant. I haven't decided yet. Really? Then why do you want to know about algorithm trading? That's not my goal, but knowing about it can still make me rich. So you are thinking about opening your own business with it? Woosung followed with all honesty. I am trying to make it into my weapon. Yoon Gwon, now more curious than ever, asked. All right, but why do you want me to teach you? If I was the best at algorithm trading, I wouldn't be working at a place like this. I need your experience. Yoon Gwon laughed. Ha ha ha, newbie. You need something from me? More like I need experience. Yet you still have been so rude to me. As you know, some experiences are not important. Something I can overcome with knowledge. But algorithm trading is different. Woosung sighed. There was no end to Yoon Gwon's questions. You have a lot of questions. Yoon Gwon nodded and played with his coffee cup. I have been working for 20 years in this field and I have never seen a newbie like you. Of course, I would be curious about you. Please teach me how to apply algorithm trading in real life and how to create an architecture in large scale. I need you to help me create a personal and stable algorithm to use in trading. Will you help me or not? I want no more of your questions. And all I get is to keep my job as a general manager at Daesan, which is only a secondary outsource company to Nuri Finances. Swallow. Woosung swallowed. After much thinking about his future, the answer he came up with was algorithm trading. It wasn't something that interested him. Only the best of the best can become a quant. He didn't know how Yoon Gwon got into this field, he only knew of it because Yoon Gwon mentioned when he was drunk. I became smarter after my death, so I think I could make money using the algorithm. If I can apply the concept to cryptocurrency dealing, I should be able to make a lot of money. Woosung was confident of the newfound intelligence he gained. What he has done so far was not something he could have done in his previous life. While Woosung was deep in his thought, Yoon Gewon continued. I feel like I should get something more out of it. My experiences aren't cheap. Well, if you feel that way, I guess that's that. I will look elsewhere. Woosung gave up easily. There was no guarantee Yoon Gewon was good, anyway. Yoon Gewon seemed confused. W8. Woosung remained silent. Yoon Gewon continued. Let's do it together. What? I want to be your partner in whatever you're planning. Can you be more specific? Even if algorithm trading doesn't work out, you will continue to try other things. I will be here to help you with whatever. All I want is for you to share your profit with me. This piqued Woosung's curiosity. I am only a newbie, so how can you trust me, and how can I trust you? I know you will succeed. My instinct tells me so. Even if you don't trust me, you can still use me till you don't need me anymore. Woosung closed his eyes. What should he do? He couldn't do everything by himself. He also needed help with algorithm trading. You'll be able to help me in every way. Yoon Gewon nodded. Woosung expected to have him as an enemy, but having a partner at his workplace could make things easier. I will let you have any vacation time, early leave, or late start. I can make things happen for you at work. It was a tempting deal. Woosung put out his hand and Yoon Gewon shook it. Then let's do it. Perfect. I will teach you everything I know, and whenever you make a profit, you must share it with me. Woosung nodded. They left the coffee shop and returned to the office. Woosung asked him questions he wanted to know. Unlike before, Yoon Gewon's manner of answering softened. Things felt right between them. They were even laughing together. Park Jun-woo looked at them in confusion. Kim Yong-gun also noticed the difference and asked Park Jun-woo. Manager, what's happening? I don't know. I was worried they might have had a fight but they look so friendly now. What did the newbie do this time? Believe me, I want to know too. It's shocking to see Yoon Gewon laugh like that. They stopped whispering as the two came close. Yoon Gewon told them in an unusual caring voice. What are you guys still doing here? It's time to go home. Think of your families waiting for you. Park Jun-woo's eyes widened. Kim Yong-gun became speechless. Woosung looked at them and added. Let's get going. The general manager has decided from now on, our department will follow the strict work hour. Park Jun-woo asked in confusion. But what about the problems the server team brought up today? Woosung replied. I will take care of them first thing tomorrow. I have a good idea of what they are. Yoon Gewon smiled and agreed. Well, that settles it then, right, or do you still want to work late? Kim Yong-gun didn't need to ask a second time. He grabbed his bag and stood up. Nope. I am ready to go home. He prompted Park Jun-woo. When Park Jun-woo stood up, Yoon Gewon turned off his computer. He murmured in disbelief. This is the first time we all left on time. This feels so strange. Kim Yong-gun nodded in agreement. 8 p.m. Woosung sat down at his desk at home with a book Yoon Gewon recommended. It had a title of Basics of Algorithm Trading. The biggest opportunity occurs when there is a big change in the market. This could be my way to make money during the financial crisis. Even if he couldn't make enough money during the financial crisis in October 2008, he could still make more with cryptocurrency. The more chances he took, the better. Woosung focused and opened the book. History of Algorithm Trading. The 300-page book started with the history of the system. As he read, Woosung again confirmed he was now smarter. Unlike in his previous life, it was now so easy to comprehend any information. It was effortless, he felt the joy of learning. He used to not be able to read for more than an hour, but now he read the entire book in one sitting. Woosung's days were easy. As soon as he arrived at work, he took care of all the VOC. In the afternoon, he worked on GUI test tool and the potential new HTS functions. He was working on 3 different projects every day. Kim Yong-gun thought of Woosung as a work monster rather than a newbie. Manager, Woosung completed a lot of commits, the act of uploading codes, today again. On average, Woosung committed thousands of lines per day. Compared to the others who at most could complete hundreds per day, Woosung was doing 10 times the work every day. He is awesome, but he still hasn't committed the codes ST complained about last time. Kim Yong-gun nodded. No, he hasn't. They're gonna complain again soon. Well, Woosung said he will take care of it, so we must trust him. I guess, but it isn't because he can't do it. I think he's not doing it on purpose. He must have a good reason. Park Jun-woo massaged his neck. That's what I'm worried about. I don't know what he is planning to do. He is such a great programmer. He's also an awesome speaker and negotiator. Why do you think he applied to work at Daesan? I don't know. Even if he didn't graduate from one of the top schools, bigger and better companies would hire him. Is the school you studied in hold such importance? Park Jun-woo murmured bitterly. I would say your school is everything. You can't show your skills on a resume. Kim Yong-gun asked sadly. We should have been born in a better country. What do you think? Do you think he'll stay here for long? Maybe a year. I don't think so. He already got an offer from Nuri Finances. Kim Yong-gun showed an envious frown. I wish someone would make an offer to me too. Why don't you focus on your work instead, Assistant Manager Kim? All right, Manager Park. They returned to the office. Woosung stretched his arms and approached Park Jun-woo. Manager, I completed developing the speed ordering function. Please have a look. Park Jun-woo and Kim Yong-gun looked at Woosung's monitor. Speed is the key to short selling. 0.1 second can make a difference, so I eliminated as many unnecessary steps as possible. Woosung opened the HTS screen and showed the process of speed ordering. Yoon Gi-won came to observe as well. As you can see, the screen itself is simple. I removed the spaces for entering several stocks and users' input text, and also the order button. Right away, Yoon Gi-won protested against the idea. Without the button, it would be harder for the customers to use the program. This isn't for everyone. It is only for people who need the fastest transactions. Woosung continued. Firstly, you don't have to input the bidding price manually. Just hover the mouse over the bidding price section and it will automatically fill in the price box. And then they can enter the number and press enter. Your transaction has been completed. The pop-up appeared immediately. What do you think? This is to satisfy the niche market of those who want to trade fast. This function is also usable in the existing API, so there is no need for any changes in the server. Park Jun-woo nodded and answered. That is fast. It's usually a 3-step procedure, but with this function, you can do it in one. Mouse on your right hand while the other on the keyboard and enter. This is not for conservative traders. It's for people who does scalping. Yoon Gi-won nodded in agreement. You are aiming for the scalpers. Yes. It's only a small group of people, but we will gain a lot of customers this way. When you think of Nuri Finances, what comes to your mind first? No one could answer Woosung's question. With this development, we will now think of scalping trading. No doubt, we will get more users. Yoon Gi-won asked Woosung. How can you be sure we will get more customers with this method? Can anyone scalp trade? Scalping. It is a trading style specializing in taking profits on small price changes, usually soon after they entered a trade and became profitable. This was not something an average person could do. Only the expert traders can do this, and new users like to mimic the experts. If you look at the websites made by the expert traders, beginners ask all kinds of questions. One of the popular questions is which HTS the experts prefer to use. Woosung continued. If the expert scalpers use a certain HTS, the average traders will follow. Yoon Gwon couldn't help his surprise at Woosung's idea. How could a newbie come up with such an amazing plan? He was only a developer, not a psychologist. Many people believed programmers knew how to code and nothing else. What Woosung suggested wasn't something a new developer could come up with. This is something Choi Gichul used to emphasize when Bitmain first started. Secure loyal customers. Having user loyalties was Choi Gichul's goal for Bitmain. His dream came true and Bitmain became the best in the country and possibly in the world. Kim Yong-gun replied in shock. I see. Park Jun-woo asked Woosung. I have a question. Sure. Ask me anything. It's great you developed a new function, but what about that VOC from ST? You said you would take care of it, but you haven't. I am worried. Oh, that thing about slow stochastic? Park Jun-woo nodded worriedly. His anxiety of the situation was clear to see. I'm already done with it. Really? Then why didn't I get an email about it? Did you send it to Nam Kyung-sang? I thought we're supposed to CC work-related emails to everyone. Didn't Assistant Manager Kim tell you? Woosung shook his head and answered. I know. I didn't do it on purpose. What? It's not an error from our end, so there is no need to reply. Then you should at least let them know it's their error. I thought about doing that, but I changed my mind. Yoon Gwon asked in an instant. Why? Don't you remember what Manager Nam said when he barged in? Just take care of your own problems. So I'm just going to work on our errors only. Yoon Gwon sighed. He couldn't understand Woosung's pettiness. What are you planning to do? They started it. So Manager Park, don't worry about this case. General Manager Yoon, please call Assistant Manager Kwok. I need to get this new function confirmed by him. All right. Yoon Gwon called in Kwok Jungwook, and after some minor adjustments, they approved the HTS update. HTS ver 1.0.1.47. Add speed trading function. Shorten transaction process. Ask the developers for further details. Change bidding price pop-up size. Add the ability to check companies' annual profits. Fix other bugs and stabilize. They mentioned nothing of the stochastic issue on the report. This only heightened Park Jun-woo's worries. Jang Gwangchul. It has been 10 years since he became a successful professional stock trader. Every morning as soon as he woke up, he showered, ate fruits for breakfast, and sat in front of his computer. He murmured his daily chant. God, Buddha, and Allah, please let me make 1% today. 1%. His trading budget was $10 million. If he gained just 1% of it, he would make $100,000. This amount was something an average person could never even dream of having. His specialty was scalping, and he traded with customized keyboard and mouse. He turned on the HTS. Let's see. When he clicked the Nuri Finance's HTS icon, a notice for an update appeared. HTS update in progress. 1 minute and 4 seconds. HTS update in progress. 44 seconds. HTS update in progress. 15 seconds. After the update completed, another pop-up appeared explaining the details. Jang Gwangchul read them over carefully. We have added speed trading function. Minor bugs fixed including the screen size adjustment. Jang Guangchul always was thorough with knowing the specifics of HTS he used. If there were any improvements he could think of, he often contacted Nuri Finances to let them know. It was a VVIP privilege. When his balance on Nuri Finance's website exceeded $4.5 million, no one has ever ignored his suggestions. After reading over the new update, Jang Guangchul's eyes sparkled. This can be very useful. Jang Guangchul specialized in scalping. Every second counted. 8:45 a.m. Jang Guangchul waited for the stock market to open. Click. Click. It was the only thing which resounded within his expensive apartment. The sound of typing and clicking echoed throughout the space. Click. With a final click, he completed a transaction. The entire process took 3 minutes. With this function, I might make 3% today. Jang Guangchul couldn't help his smile. It wasn't even noon yet. He still had 3 more hours till the market closed, and he's already earning thousands of dollars. Click. Click. Jang Guangchul's spirit fired up as he stared at the screen. 3 p.m. Jang Guangchul stretched out his arms and closed the HTS screen. In 2008, Cyworld exceeded its popularity Facebook in Korea. Every day after the market closed, Jang Guangchul always made a few notes on how he did that day on Cyworld. He had a few thousands of friends on his page. After he uploaded today's experience, his followers commented on it quickly. Wow! Awesome profit today. Wow! You're amazing. You're the best. Which financial company are you using? I would love an offline seminar from you. He enjoyed the positive comments from his fans. Jang Guangchul spent a lot of time reading them. Then his phone rang. This is Jang Guangchul. He didn't need to say more. The customer service recognized his name and expressed a polite greeting. Oh, hello, sir. I wanted to talk to you about the new function. I think it's called speed trading. Yes, it's called the speed trading. Did you have a complaint? No, I just wanted to mention how it is, but there is something I would like to add. Of course. Let me know and I will relay your message to the developers. Firstly, the conversation went on for a few minutes. The customer service wrote all the suggestions from Jang Guangchul. He was a VVIP with a balance of $9 million. A financial company respected such customers. Nuri Finances always accepted Jang Guangchul's suggestions without questions. Meeting occurred every Friday at 3 p.m. This was the end of the month meeting and there was an extra topic on the agenda. January result for the new point system. As soon as this PPT slide came up, everyone became anxious. Daeyong system. Bugs occurred, 13. Bugs fixed, 13. Function development, 5. ST data system. Bugs occurred, 23. Bugs fixed, 20. Function development, 6. M3 soft. Bugs occurred, 33. Bugs fixed, 32. Function development, 3. Daesan system. Bugs occurred, 19. Bugs fixed, 19. Function development, 1. Jo Young-suk commented. ST failed to fix 3 bugs while M3 failed 1. Everyone quieted. It was the calm before the storm. Kwon Hyunjian replied finally. We checked them, and those 3 weren't ours. Jo Young-suk rubbed his chin. Kwon Hyunjian added quickly. I think they were Deesan's errors and they were just miscalculated as ours. Kwok Jung-wook said hurriedly. How can you say that our deputy general manager made a mistake? They are definitely from Saint. I checked the list many times. Jo Young-suk asked quietly. Open the list. Kwok Jung-wook clicked the Excel file. The list showed the evidences and reasons for each bug. A few of them were highlighted. Slow stochastic indicators monthly chart. Slow monthly candle chart. Slow monthly MACD indicator chart. These were the problems Nam Kyung-sang complained to Dae-san. Yoon Gi-won flinched and looked at Woosung sitting behind him. Woosung nodded and whispered. Don't worry. He still couldn't relax. Jo Young-suk turned to look at Yoon Gi-won, who answered. My developer will explain. Woosung stood up. I have an explanation. As far as I know, ST is using their own SNL, ST Network Library, as their network library. Is that right, Manager Kwon? SNL. ST Data System created this for the convenience of needing less communication-related codes. It allowed developers to focus more on business aspects. It was a good tool. Kwon Hyunjin turned around to look at Nam Kyung-sang, who nodded. That's correct. Then did you also know there is a problem with SNL? Kwon Hyunjin again turned around, and Nam Kyung-sang shook his head. He looked confused and concerned. Woosung followed post-haste. When there are over 100 request threads, SNL either slows down or disconnects. They told me your team tested this library thoroughly, so I assumed you already knew of this problem. Jo Young-suk looked at Kwon Hyunjin, who looked back at Nam Kyung-sang. Nam Kyung-sang finally stood up. If you are accusing us of a problem with our SNL library, you better be sure about it. I can show it to you right now. Jo Young-suk stopped the argument. This is ST's job to check. After you find out, please let Assistant Manager Kwok know. He implied ST was at fault. Nam Kyung-sang gritted his teeth as he stood up. Jo Young-suk looked at the list again and added. But I admit that ST developed the highest number of new functions. Kwon Hyunjin smiled as Jo Young-suk continued. Dae-san has the least number of developments. Nam Kyung-sang sneered. Yoon Gi-won swallowed hard and looked at Woosung again. Woosung looked relaxed. Then suddenly, someone came to Jo Young-suk and whispered to his ear. Oh really? I see. Jo Young-suk nodded and turned to Yoon Gi-won. I see why Dae-san only had one. Yoon Gi-won's eyes widened. There were many gold-level customers who contacted us regarding Daesan's new function. Gold level. Only the users with balances higher than $450,000 reached the gold level. Those with over $900,000 were in diamond level. If you had over $4.5 million, you were on the black level. They were very pleased with it. It wasn't just a few but. Kwok Jung-wook finished the sentence. 27 customers contacted us. More are calling us about it still. There was also a customer who wanted to come by in person to suggest more ideas to improve it. Jo Young-suk chuckled. Haha. It must be an amazing development to receive such compliments. Kwok Jung-wook said loudly as well. In addition, there are hundreds of positive comments on our notice board about how great this new function is. Our chairman always emphasizes the importance of choice and focus. I believe Dae-san has achieved both this time. Yoon Gi-won smiled as well. Nam Kyung-sang, however, looked uncomfortable. Jo Young-suk continued. I think we should apply the idea from Daesan's previous consultation ASAP. In fact, I will increase the remuneration from $300,000 to $500,000. Yoon Gi-won beamed with a smile. Of course. We will make sure not to disappoint you. Kwon Hyunjin couldn't help but show his irritation. Yoon Gi-won couldn't hide his delight when he returned to the office. He kept patting Woosung's back. You were amazing as usual. Loved how you gave it to ST. Don't forget about the bigger pay. If you continue like this, we'll be able to get the account system contract for sure. We might even grow bigger than Daeyoung and take over Nuri finances. Park Jun-woo asked with interest. What happened at the meeting? Yoon Gwon explained, leaving Park Jun-woo dumbfounded. $500,000. Yes. He suggested it himself. If we do this well, the four of us would earn our company $1 million. Kim Yong-gun was also pleasantly surprised. So that would make over $300,000 per person. Yup. We can expect to get big bonuses, and you too will have additional incentives from your contracts. Park Jun-woo remembered the recent contract and grinned. Oh yeah. That's right. Yoon Gwon looked at Woosung. Hey newbie, why are you so quiet? I thought you might ask to increase your fee by $50,000. This increase in payment is all your work. You made it all possible. Yoon Gwon asked confusedly. I've never seen you act so modest before. Haha. I'm only telling you the truth. You gave permission to a newbie to lead a brand new project. You also approved a bonus of $50,000 for me. You made everything possible. I know how much you've done for me. It was so heartwarming. Kim Yong-gun felt emotional. Yoon Gwon couldn't hide his embarrassment. His ears reddened. Ah really? I am appreciative. You deserve the recognition for this success. Park Jun-woo added. That's right. You also made sure we get the bonuses. Kim Yong-gun agreed as well. Yes. So let's celebrate tonight. Yoon Gwon nodded. For sure. It's a celebration. You all better come. Of course we'll all join you. Park Jun-woo nodded and asked Woosung. You can come too, right? We didn't even get to throw a welcoming party for you. You have to come. Haha, of course. Oh, and General Manager, I have my graduation on the 21st, so I need that day off. That's not a problem. I will take care of everything, so don't worry about it. It was clear Yoon Gwon meant what he said before. They drank. It was great to enjoy such an incredible success. They partied till 2 in the morning, and Woosung took a cab home afterward. In the taxi, he looked at the streetlights. The cold breeze felt great on his face. He looked at the cars passing by and thought. It's 10 years ago, but it's still the same here. It has been 3 weeks since he traveled back in time. Every morning he woke up, he pinched himself to make sure he wasn't dreaming, and every time he did so, he felt a twinge of pain. It was real. He died and came back to life. But I am different. I need to be different. Woosung sighed. He smelled the alcohol in his breath. He remembered the day he died. It was just like today. He was going back home drunk from an office party, but today was different. Yes. I need to be better to destroy that snake. I will make sure he loses everything. Choi Gichul, son of Daeyoung Group CEO. Woosung planned to destroy not only Choi Gichul but also Daeyoung. He knew he could do it. For every level of the Industrial Revolution, there was always a person who broke the rules. Ford and Carnegie were two good examples. This time, it was his turn. The Fourth Industrial Revolution involved keywords such as artificial intelligence, robot, big data, and blockchain. Everybody related all of these to software development, which was Woosung's specialty. He still felt drunk, but his eyes sharpened as he enjoyed the view. Woosung woke up with a groan. Ugh. I need to stop drinking. He felt like someone struck his head with a hammer. He drank a hangover drink, but he still felt nauseous. His head was pounding. Son, drink this cup of honey water. The door to his room opened and his mother handed him a cup of yellow drink. She used to too merciless nagging at him when he would come home drunk, but not anymore. After he gave her that big check, her actions changed. Ugh. Woosung moaned and stood up. It was good to be young, however. As soon as he drank the water, he immediately felt better. When he was 36, he took days to recover. Ouch, my head. Woosung massaged the back of his head and sighed. He could still smell the soju in his breath. However, he had to be productive every single day, so he couldn't laze around even on weekends. Woosung showered and sat in front of the computer. There was a lot to learn today. He planned to focus on algorithm trading today. If he could find the time, he wanted to use this method in real life to make more money. Bzzzt, bzzzt. As soon as he sat down, his phone vibrated. It was Yoon Gwon. What does he want? We were together until only a few hours ago. Woosung answered the phone curiously. Yoon Gwon's voice was lively even after all the drinking last night. Newbie, what's up? Not much. I was reading. Then come out. You need to learn algorithm trading. What? Stop reading the books. I will teach you in person. His voice sounded enthusiastic. He didn't sound hungover at all. You know my time is valuable, right? If you will teach me, you better do a good job. Haha, of course. I have worked at Daeyong for 20 years. I spent many years focusing on algorithm trading. I will teach you what you can't learn from books. Was it because of yesterday's success? Yoon Gwon was being very kind and helpful today. Then let me know the time and place. I'll be there. Yoon Gwon laughed and replied. Time is now. Place is my home. Come on. Luckily, Yoon Gwon's studio wasn't far from Woosung's place. He found it odd why he didn't live in a multi-bedroom apartment, but as soon as he walked in, he understood. Do you live apart from your family? My son and wife live abroad. My son was being bullied at school, so I wanted him to get away from that. Oh. You don't have to pity me. This place is wonderful. Yoon Gwon was right. The studio was clean and well organized. Even the kitchen shone without a spot of grease. Woosung saw the books he kept around a shelf and asked. Did you read all these? I've got nothing else to do, so I read a lot. Over 100 IT-related books lined the shelves. Woosung picked up a few books. Some titles included Maintenance and Use of Linux, Object-Oriented Programming, Clean Codes, and Use of Oracle Database. You brought your work home. How could I not? Learning never stops. If you don't continue improving your skills, you won't last long in this field. Woosung nodded to his good sense. Well, that's about it for our small talk. Let's begin our session. Sure. Go ahead. Woosung brought out a whiteboard and wrote a few equations. What Yoon Gwon wrote was the Black-Scholes equation. It was something Woosung hasn't seen since university. This is the foundation of the options market. Myron Scholes received the Nobel Prize for Economic Sciences in 1997 for this. This is an example of an algorithm. Woosung remembered reading about it. But even this equation was useless on October 19, 1987, the Black Monday. Wow! You have been studying. You're right. The possibility of Dow Jones dropping 7% was mathematically 0%. When it happened, the black system froze, and people became frantic. They ended up all selling, which caused a drop of 25%. No one could do anything. Black said you may calculate the stars' movements, but you can't guess people's reactions. Yoon Gwon exclaimed. Wow! You will make a great student. He was originally a mathematician but later turned to economics and financial consulting. That's right. He became well known in economics. The stock market used this equation like it's the golden rule. Yoon Gwon then added more names to the whiteboard. David Shaw. Jeff Bezos. Jeff Bezos was the founder and chairman of Amazon. David Shaw was less well known, but Woosung remembered reading about him in the book. He is the founder of D. Shaw. Jeff Bezos is one of David Shaw's quants. He quit that job and later founded Amazon. Again, Yoon Gwon was wowed. You never disappoint me. If I may add, David Shaw was a genius computer scientist. At the time, talented traders were mostly mathematicians or statisticians. At first, no one paid attention to this computer scientist in stock trading. He suggested an algorithm of his own, which Morgan Stanley rejected at the time. Yoon Gwon nodded. So you read up on the history. Then, my last question is this. Why did I mention these three names? There are many types of quant. Some focus on making the algorithm while others specialize in the computer aspect of it. David Shaw used the computing power to increase the speed of the algorithm, while Fisher Black showed talent in creating the algorithms. It was a difference between the creator and the user, and rarely, some were talented at both. Yoon Gwon put down his marker and asked. What do you think you are? I am. Woosung became quiet. This was something he considered intently while reading the history of algorithm trading. Choose and focus. He only had a limited amount of time, so he had to make quick choices and focus on them. It was true he was smarter, but he wasn't a robot. He also didn't want to become a money-making machine. He wanted to exercise to become healthier and enjoy life while making good money. This was after his revenge though. Until then, he was ready to sacrifice everything. I plan on doing both. I will make the algorithm and use it myself to become successful. Woosung's eyes looked crazy. Yoon Gwon flinched at Woosung's determination. It looked like Woosung was ready to do whatever was necessary, even murder. Yoon Gwon knew he couldn't stop Woosung. It seemed pointless to tell him how hard it would be. I see. Yoon Gwon was expecting Woosung to choose one or the other, but now he could only nod to Woosung's answer. I plan on continuing to study statistics and mathematics. All you need to teach me is what you learn from your experience. Woosung understood statistics and mathematics were the foundations of creating algorithms. Oh, I see. Yoon Gwon nodded. Yoon Gwon stopped asking questions and continued to explain his own past works. At first, it was a very simple system. When the golden cross occurred, we bought, and when the death cross occurred, we sold. Golden cross. It was a technical indicator occurring when the short-term moving average crossed above the long-term mark. When it occurred, it meant there was a change of stock gains on the horizon. On the other hand, death cross was a sign that short-term momentum in stock was slowing. It happened when a stock's short-term moving average fell below its long-term moving average. That was very simple. But it was still better than manual trading. Nobody could be as methodical as a computer system. Woosung agreed. He learned this as the chief of the server team at Bitmain. Next must be something more complex. Yes. We added more guidelines for the algorithm to follow, including the candlestick patterns. So basically, you used the trend to follow a strategy? Yup, but then we came to a problem. Spaghetti code. Spaghetti code. It referred to the unstructured and difficult to maintain source code. To explain it simply, it was as if someone drew a yellow line on top of a black line, which they placed on top of a blue line. Yes. We also tried to add indicators like MACD and stochastics, which made it even harder. Refactoring these codes alone took over a month. And following the rules everybody already knew wouldn't have made you a lot of money. Yoon Gwon nodded and wrote more words on the board. So we read the related academic articles. We wanted to make an algorithm the experts in the field already used but an average trader wouldn't know. Yoon Gwon paused and looked at Woosung. He was challenging Woosung to guess the answer. Woosung contemplated. Are you referring to the pairs trading strategy? Yoon Gwon was again impressed. You probably didn't have a long time to study, yet you did well. Anything is better than dying. Yoon Gwon shuddered at Woosung's dark tone, but he quickly recovered and continued. Yes. We used the pair's trading strategy. Yoon Gwon's lesson ended at dinner time. Phew, I have told you everything I know. They started at 11 a.m. and took a brief lunch break. In total, the lesson took 8 hours. Yoon Gwon was sweating by the end. Woosung thanked him. Thank you so much. You really helped me today. Woosung was sincere. Yoon Gwon sat down and asked. What about dinner? Well, I need to get home. The now disappointed Yoon Gwon mumbled behind his breath. I wanted to have a drink with you but. I guess you need to go. Was Yoon Gwon always like this? 10 years ago in his past life, Woosung, Park Jun-woo, and Kim Yong-gun used to hate him. As Woosung got to know him better, he could see a different side of Yoon Gwon. He can't believe it at first, but Woosung was beginning to like him. Woosung fully recovered from last night's drinking, so he obliged the man's offer. Well then, just one drink with dinner. 7 p.m. They only had burgers for lunch, so he was getting hungry. Yoon Gwon brightened and answered. Of course. Pork belly and one drink. What Woosung learned from his 10 years of being an earnest employee was one drink never remained just one. Again, they drank till late into the night. It wasn't a loud drinking party, however. It was one where they enjoyed their glasses together in a quiet display of camaraderie as Yoon Gwon talked about difficulties of living apart from his family. He talked about his son. He talked about his take on the company and his difficulties at work. Woosung was such a good listener that Yoon Gwon couldn't stop talking. Woosung was sympathetic, especially regarding the difficulty of being a working man. Woosung could also see similarities between them. Yoon Gwon was let go from Daeyoung's system because the son of Daeyoung's CEO betrayed him. So what's your plan? Yoon Gwon had been curious about it for a while now and he now got the nerve to ask. First, I will finish developing GUI test tool and lead a successful consultation. Algorithm trading is after that? Yes. How about the test tool development? I think I should be able to finish it tomorrow. I will show you the final work on Monday morning. Yoon Gwon smiled happily. I love it. We might sell that tool elsewhere too, so do your best. Oh, I plan on uploading it on the SourceForge for free. What? SourceForge. That's a free software website. SourceForge.net was a web-based service offering developers to control and manage free software projects. It was the biggest sharing site before the introduction of GitHub.com, which at this time was a startup site and haven't got many users yet. Woosung planned on uploading on GitHub too. I plan on providing it to the public for free. I meant to tell you on Monday. Please make sure the boss understands. What? Do you think this is a charity? Why would you give it for free? They would include this function in the Visual Studio within 2 years, so there was no benefit for the company to hold on to the plugin. I don't mean to be a charity worker. There is a good reason for it. Think of it as a bait. It was a bait to attract other developers. It was easy to buy talented programmers, but he didn't have the money yet. There were many things he wanted to and needed to make, unfortunately, he was just a man. Good stories attracted good people. Good codes could attract good developers. Woosung drank the last shot and continued. Please make them understand. This needs to be available freely. Fine. Let's do that. If you want, I will make it happen. Yoon Gwon tried to get rid of his disappointment and stood up. Between the two, they drank 3 bottles of soju that night. When Woosung returned home, he didn't go to sleep and sat right away in front of the computer. If I want to complete it by tomorrow, I better finish what I started this morning. Click. Click, click. As Woosung types fast, the screen quickly filled with C++ language. Woosung continued without hesitation. When he was coding, he could feel the difference in his ability the most. 10 years ago, he couldn't work this fast. I would have spent most of my time thinking or researching on the internet. Even after he became the chief of the server department at Bitmain, it remained the same. To complete a single program, he need to allocate extensive energy to search the open sources. He usually ended up using different parts of whatever others had already made. If he couldn't find anything he needed, he wrote the codes himself, but it used to take him ages. However, now he could feel everything was different. His brain worked in an unprecedented way. In the past, he would have spent 50% of the time thinking, while now he would only utilize 20%. Phew, now I just have to finish up tomorrow. He filled the monitor with new CPP files. 3 a.m. Woosung went to bed at last. On the monitor, the arrow clicked the button automatically without the need to move the mouse. The price boxes filled themselves too. The program test on HTS went on like this: they are automatic. After the test completed, Park Jun-woo swallowed. Did you really make this all by yourself, Woosung? Woosung nodded. Kim Yong-gun reacted similarly. They were all shocked. From now on, the screen test will involve adding more functions to this. Park Jun-woo called in Yoon Gi-won. General Manager, did you see this? This program can test everything automatically, including the login, transactions, and speed trading. Yes, I saw it a few days ago. Park Jun-woo couldn't believe his eyes. This is amazing. It used to take us hours at a time manually inputting individual numbers to test things, but now everything will be so much easier. Yoon Gi-won answered disappointedly. I know. And he plans to upload it for free on SourceForge. This revelation surprised Park Jun-woo this most. His voice cracked louder than before. What? For free? Woosung answered calmly. I was meaning to provide the codes so others can add more functions themselves. I don't have the time myself to continue developing this. Woosung, but that's not right. This is an amazing function and it's the company's property. But if he insists, it's okay. Woosung looked at Yoon Gi-won. Well, let's go then. People are waiting. Sure, let's go. Whatever you say, boss. Yoon Gi-won grumbled as he stood up.